So last class we saw nested if condition, multiple condition with AND operator, and so on and so forth. So today we are going to implement switch case. So I will come to extremely below. I will write one more function for implementing switch case. That is fine. Or since we have nothing much here in the main function itself, if necessary, switch case directly you can try here the main function also. Plan is when user will enter to our program, okay, that means user executed our program, he entered into the program. Initially I will show you some menu kind of thing. Let me show you in the notepad. Just like this. 1 for if condition, enter 2 for multi-level condition, enter 3 for nested condition, enter 4 for AND condition, enter 5 for something else, like you have written not equal to condition. Like that you give one small menu at the top of the program. User will see that. Then you ask user console.writeLine, enter your option. Just like in customer care it asks, right? Enter 1 for doing this, enter 2 for doing this, etc. So enter your option. Then user imagine entered 4. So your idea is when user enters 4, suddenly it will read that 4, and instead of checking one by one condition like if else, it will directly take me to that 4 and execute that 4th option for me. So question is just like this. So question says display a menu just like below. Based on the option user enters, execute particularly that function. Okay, particularly that function. No need to execute all the functions, particularly that function. So using switch case. This is one real-time implementation of switch case. We say it as menu driven programming. So let's come to our Visual Studio, and here we will write some statement as per our expectation. So first thing I want to display this. So for displaying anything, what we write? Console.writeLine. Very simple. For enter your option, console.readLine. So console.writeLine, 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 some 4-5 steps you write 4-5 times for displaying that at the top of the menu. So console.writeLine, I will say something like option. Okay, let me tell you one new thing today. There is something called /t. This is called escape sequence. It is a general knowledge. We need it now. Escape sequence means some special sequence or special sequence of characters that gives us little different meaning. /t, whenever you write in C#, it will say give a tab space. Wherever you write /n, it will say give a break line or give a line break. Wherever you give /r, it will give a carriage return. Carriage return means just like press enter. When you give /b, it will say give a backspace. If you want to display slash, 2 times slash, display a slash on the screen. That means these are some // something we are using called escape sequence of character for special meaning. Today I am going to use this /t for a tab space. Why? I want to give it something like this. Heading here, option, and little bit /t, that means tab space, here action, ACTION. After that, I will write one line like this. Then all of them, they should come like this. I want to display this thing on the top of the screen. So between option and action, I have some spaces. If I'll give space also, it's fine. But why should space we will type? /t indicates at a time one tab space it will take. So what I will do, I will do 2 tab space in between, and I will display the options. So option /t, that means display option on the screen, then you give 2 times tab space, and then display action. So many question mark might be coming in mind. Don't worry, when we will complete this, all your question mark will be gone. So we will run the program, then we will see the output something like this. Then you can compare with the program. By chance something not understood this time. So let's go for second line called dash. So here I will say console.writeLine, something like this. Then I will say console.writeLine. First is 1, then /t, I will write. If you want to run if you want to run first program, then action is if else. So please enter 1 in order to call if else. Please enter 1 in order to call if else. So this one I will call, I will copy paste 4-5 times. How many menu options? That many times I will copy paste it. Then I will change it. So first program is if else. Second program is multiple if else. So let me write here 2. Please enter 2 if you want to use multiple if else or multi-level if else. Please enter 3 if you want to run checking not equal. Okay. Each function I'm giving through a separate menu option. So check not equal operator. Please enter 4 if you want to run nested condition and operator. Okay, and operator and then nested condition. So here I will write and operator if you want to run the program of and operator, and please enter 5 if you want to run nested if else condition or nested condition. Makes sense? So this will be one information for the user, nothing much difficult task. Just console.writeLine means what you see here, that it will display on the screen. Only here one thing to remember is /t. /t means how many /t, that many tab space it will display. It will take some tab space over there. Okay, user saw this menu at the top, then obviously I have to ask user ki bhai see the above menu and enter your option. So refer above menu and enter your option. Then user will see, I have to run multi-level, no problem, I will enter 2, something like that it will do. Okay, here if you want to give a /n, what will happen? This line will be displayed in next line. /n means break a line, then you start the line. So I said /n because here I want to break the line. Break the line means give a space line and then blank line and then write this sentence. Then I will say here integer option equal to, because option user is going to enter in integer na, so I say integer option equal to convert dot to integer console dot read line. That means whatever user is going to enter, it should be stored in option. Okay, now you go for switch case. Just a minute guys. Just now one student joined, JG you have written. Can you please rename it so that we can take your attendance, who joined and all. I don't need to repeat every day, guys. Please take care. The moment you join, you check whether your name is there or not. Otherwise, rename it there in the right side. Okay. So here we have to start switch case. Okay. That means switch to this option. Check if it is 1, do this. Check if it is 2, do this. Check if it is 3, do this. That is what the intention. So that situation is matching with our switch case syntax. If you see, switch to variable. What is our variable this time? Option. OPTION option. So I will say please switch to that variable called option. Curly bracket open, curly bracket close. In case that option value is 1, please call this function. If you compare with the syntax, syntax says case value number 1. That means in case that variable value is value number 1, do whatever you want to do, then break. So here I will use a break. Not necessarily always here you have to write console.writeLine only. I can call a function also. That means between this line and break, whatever action you want to write, you can write. Here 2-3 action also you can do. You will say, okay, console.writeLine some other thing. Absolutely fine. So whatever action plan you have, when user enters 1, that action plan you can do it here. Then copy paste it. How many options you have? Imagine you have some 5 options. You copy paste it 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everywhere you change it to as per your expected option. 2, 3, 4 and so on. Total 5. For 2, which function I have to call as per our understanding? Multi-level wala function I have to call. So this is multi-level function. So I will take it and call it in my second case. Similarly, for 3 I have to call this one. So this time no need for commenting one, uncommenting one. You are just asking user, why which one you want, tell me. Option you tell me, I will call the respective function. So every time you run the program, it will ask you which option you want to run, which function you want to run. Refer the above menu and enter your option. Then user enter the option. Based on that option, it should execute particularly that function what you are entering. Once that is executed, then break line is there. Break means come out of this switch case. After that, nothing will be there. Just console.read key. So it will say press any key to continue after that. So this is switch case, but default statement we should give. If you remember, yesterday we discussed some default statement. That means you are asking user to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No doubt about it. But user is entering 7. What you will do? You have no choice, right? User can enter anything. But you should tackle it, saying that if you didn't enter 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, something else you entered, then I will display a simple sentence saying you have entered invalid option. So default colon console.writeLine and invalid option. And one more thing, yesterday I have told you, break in default. In other languages, break is not necessary. But here in C#, they observed that using break and not using break, if you compare, using break is faster than not using break. That's why they said for default also, why don't you use break? Others anyway required, but for default also you use it break. Even though there is no other statement after default, still you use it break so that it will be faster than the not using break. So this is mandatory here in C#. In default also you have to use a break. So overall, if somebody asks what is break means, what you have to tell? Wherever break word is used, it will see which particular block is going on. This is switch block, it will go out of switch. If it is if block, it will go out of if. If it is for loop block, it will go out of for loop block. Whatever block it is continuing now. Block means this curly bracket open and curly bracket close. So in that special block, either switch block, if else block, nested if block, any block it is continuing, it will come out of that block. So rightly we have used break because after execution of this line, I don't anymore to continue case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6. So I have to break it from the respective block called switch case block. Okay. Deepak, you have any question? You have raised the hand. If we will see, if you will run the program, something which is there in your mind, it may be clear. So I will do that situation also. If somebody is entering 7 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what will happen? Okay. So I'll put a breakpoint here. Yep. Your voice is breaking. Can you repeat it? Are you speaking now? Yeah, manageable. No, totally I'm not understanding your question. So it's breaking. So fine. If I will execute, perhaps your doubt will be clear. Okay, let me execute and see how it goes. So first I will compile. I will make sure that it is in debug mode because I have put a breakpoint and I will click it here. Guys, my voice also breaking like this. Is it so sometimes? Okay, it's clear, right? Okay, all right. Because if my voice will break like this, it is gone, you know, you will be nowhere. So please remind me if by chance anytime this kind of voice comes from my side, rather we'll stop the class. All right, so running the program, I have put a breakpoint in the beginning itself, line number 8 you can see, because that is the entry point for compiler. It came here and output window is in front of me. As of now it has not displayed anything. I press F10, 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 F10. These are all simple console.write line. So nothing much to think about. It will give just a menu, right? Can you see that tab space? 2 times tab space means 2 times automatically gave tab space and display that little bit right side. So it is saying I displayed my menu as per your command. Now you refer above menu and enter your option. Okay, so between that line 5 and between this refer, can you see one line break? That line break because of this /n. Okay, and that tab space because of this /t. 2 times means 4 character. Sometimes depending upon the program, it will be different number of character. But 2 time tab space you are entering here because /t. Absolutely fine. As of now, nothing technical. It is just display. Now it is asking me observe above menu, whichever you want, you enter that option. Imagine I want to go for this check not equal, for example. Okay, 3 I will enter obviously because I want to go for check not equal function. Then I press enter. Then it will come to switch. So in switch, it will check what is my option and it will see that option is 3. So it will jump to directly 3 as per our understanding. So where is 3? It is in line number 28, 29, 30. So 28, 29, 30. Somewhere here it will come. So if I will press F10, you can see it is saying 29 is your option because 3 is for that. So in this 29 line, if I'll press F11, F11 means it will go to the target function wherever it is defined. Here I'm calling it in line number 29, but actually it is defined in somewhere here. You can see line number 90. So it is my responsibility to come from line number 29 to line number 90. because I have to see all these things. Enter your value, enter the second value, etc. So I will press here F11. Have a look. It came to line number 91. Then F10, 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 F10. It will go on asking you whatever written the coding inside that function. So that is what is happening. That means I have 5 functions, but I said user, whichever you want, I will take you there. No need to call all 5 functions. So it is saying, okay, I'm going to that particular function called check not equal. So equal or not, you have to check. Enter 2 values. So user entered me 2 values, and then it says that yeah, both are equal because your A and B both are same this time. Whatever program it is, it will execute that, and output also it will give. After that, it will back to that option. That means whichever option we have entered 3, it has not yet finished. It will come to line number 30. Then line number 30 is saying, I will not allow you to go to 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I will allow you to go to directly outside of this block. Okay, outside of this block means outside of the switch case. So if I will press further F10, it will come to line number 42 because block is finishing in line number 40 itself. That means 4, 5, 6, 7, including default, all these things will not run. Now you see the output window. My user saw this menu. Then he entered his option. As per option, program also executed. Then it is done. I don't need to call all the functions at a time. Again, user suppose run it. Okay. This time I will remove this breakpoint because for understanding once breakpoint is enough. So I'll remove this breakpoint and put a console.read key here. Already you have put it, and run it again. So this time user wants nested if condition. Suppose user wants, I don't want to change anything in the program, but I want to run the nested if condition. So 5 makes sense. It will see the menu and enter 5. So it will take as per 5 only. That means 5th place it will go and do whatever it is. That function will be called, and it will say that, okay, if you have a degree, please enter yes. So I said yes. I said experience 7 years. It is saying you are selected. Then it will come back to the program. So without making even a bit of changes, how many times you are running the program, it will serve you as per your input. So this time I entered 9. This time I entered 9. What will happen? As per our understanding, it should go to default statement. Don't you think so? So if you want to see, put a breakpoint and see. So I entered 9. Then I will press enter. So it came here. Check the option. Option is 9. So based on the option 9, it should go to respective place. But unfortunately, it saw there is no 9. If there is no 9, then obviously it will go to default statement. So if I'll press F10, it will come to default statement. It will say, as per our requirement, you have put invalid. Because I asked you to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we are entering 9. So it is invalid option. So if nothing is matching, it should go to default statement. Okay, so program is in front of you. Check it out once and ask me if you have any confusion. Right side, I'm putting the output window. Anybody? Yeah, Deepak and Kishore, I can see the raise hand. Deepak, you have any question? Kishore? Oh, okay, you can click again, it will go. Kishore, you have any question? Okay, console.writeLine is for display purpose. Okay, display means display on the screen. So you can see line number option where I have written up to line number this 5 and nested condition. These are all for display, right? So I used console.writeLine everywhere. Means display something on the screen. But if you see here, I used console.readLine. ReadLine means take it something from the screen and stored in the variable. What is your name, by the way? Kishore, right? Is it your first class today? Okay, no problem. If you are missing something, make sure that same day you are going through the video before coming to next class. Otherwise, next class also will not be useful. Okay, so coming to one more guy I think I can say. Rohini, you have some question? Yeah, absolutely. But only thing is, if it is string, here it should be double code. Okay, 1 2 3 4 like that only I wrote, right? So you have to give double quotes everywhere if it is string. If it is character, then single quote. Yeah, that you have to follow. Vindu, you have any question? This is a real-time example only, menu-driven programming. Okay. You have 5 different options and you have to take one action, something like that, wherever it is. Or 10 different actions, but you don't want to go for all of them at a time. You want to go one by one. Like you have a menu in your website. Okay. So you have home, you have services, you have contact us. You are not going at a time to everything, right? So when you are clicking services, it is taking you to services only. Then you are coming back to home and you are clicking some other. So wherever this kind of situations is there, you have many things to do, but you want to go one out of those many things. So there you have to use switch case. All right. So you can click again the raise hand so that will go. Yeah. Anybody else saying anything? Yeah. Whichever. I mean, in general, you have 5 things to do, but you are not doing at a time everything. You are choosing, okay, out of this 5 action plan, I have only 1 action plan this time. So then you have to go for switch case. In fact, you can go for if else also. But what is happening in if else? Yesterday we have discussed about it, that every time it will check from top to bottom only. It will not jump to directly that solution. So we should go for switch case in that scenario wherever equal match condition is available. All right. So let's next go to the next thing in our list. We have something called loops after conditions. So let me tell you a bit about the loop, why it is used and how it is used, and then we will write some program on top of that. So first is conceptual analysis about loops. We have few more operators also, guys. Slowly I will come back to the operator when we will understand a respective background knowledge about it. So after loops I will go to few more operator also. So first let's understand what is this loops all about. When we say loops, it is a repetition of statement or repeating statements. What do you mean by repeating statement? When you write a statement, imagine you write console.writeLine, something like anything, welcome to C#, suppose. Can you please mute, guys? Some sound is coming. Kishore, can you click on that hand symbol again so that it will go? All right. So console.writeLine, welcome to C#, suppose I wrote on the screen. Understand conceptual part, that is important. Program is easy if you understood the concept nicely. I wrote console.writeLine one time. Okay. So how many times it will display, guys, on the screen? Only one time. No doubt about it. We have seen many things. One time I wrote means one time it will display what is there. But somebody says, I need this line 10 times. Currently, whatever knowledge you have, what you will do in that case? Imagine you don't have knowledge of loops at all. Okay. Then obviously you will go for something like, hey, one time writing, one time it is displaying, 10 times I will write, 10 times it will display. What is there? Easy. You will write 10 times, like copy paste 10 times. Tomorrow I asked you, no, I don't need 10 times, I need 200 times here. Okay, 200 times. So that will not be appropriate. How many times I want, that many times I will copy paste it. Tomorrow somebody says 5,000 times, then what you will do? So going forward, in real time, when you develop a project in real time, you will be starting work with a lot of data. Imagine for your company itself, you are developing a project and your company is having 2,000 employee, and somebody says 2,000 employee are there, but apply some bonus called 30% for Diwali. Okay. So if you write one line for 10,000 employee or 2,000 employee, will you go for 2,000 times that? It will be difficult task. You will take some 10 days I will take to do that. So loop says anything repeatedly to be done. Okay, anything repeatedly to be done. For first guy also I want to do, for second guy also I want to do, for third guy also I want to do. So anything repeatedly to be done, if you are using loop syntax, it will be definitely syntactically also easy, programmatically, compiling wise, execution speed wise, and complicacy wise also. It will be definitely better. So loop is nothing but repeating one or more statements. That statement may be one line, that statement may be some calculation, some equation, some 4-5 lines of the coding. It may be calculate and display, anything that may be. If you open this program also, I will say this is a statement only, no? Right from here to here. Okay. So somebody is saying, when I am running this program one time, it is asking me only one option. 3 means only 3, 2 means only 2. Once I completed this 3, can you automatically ask me second option? Can you automatically ask me third option when the second will be completed? There we say it is a repeated logic. So wherever one work, that work may be a single line work, that work may be just like this, some 20 line or 30 line work, doesn't matter. Any work that you have done in your program, you want to repeat it again and again. You are going to ATM. You completed your transaction number 1. After saying done, what it is asking? It is asking you, why do you want one more transaction? That is called repeated work. Okay. So if it is saying that one time you enter the pin, I did your work, over. If you want to do second, again you put the card, put the pin, put the things, everything. Then that is called non-repeated work. So anytime if you want to do automatically some repetition of the work, whether it is a single sentence or multiple lines of the statements, then you have to use loop. Conceptually you got the idea, but now how? This is called why. Yeah, I will come to you. So conceptually this is called why to use loop. Now comes how to use. Okay, what is the syntax of using? Let me write heading as syntax. But before going to syntax, let me tell you, there are so many variety of loops. Okay, one is for loop, one is while loop, one is do while loop, one is for each loop. So these are all loops. Now you will ask me, sir, repetition of the statement, one loop will be enough. Now why 4-5 loops are there? Because as per the convenience, some situation, some syntax is useful, some other situation, some other syntax is preferable. But as a whole, all of them are doing the same operation only. What is that? Repeating the statement. That means if I will put this line called console.writeLine welcome inside for loop, that will also repeat. In while loop also it will repeat. In do while also it will repeat. In for each also it may repeat. But depending on few more situations, few loops are preferable. That we'll see in detail also, no problem. So let's first focus on the for loop. So once you understood for loop, while going to while loop, I will make the contrast between where for loop is preferable, where while loop is preferable. So first is for loop. So I'm giving the heading as for loop, and we'll see the syntax of the for loop. So give the heading as for loop. Syntax is something like this. For, okay, inside this bracket you have three things to do. Three things, something like this. What are those three things? Repeated logic you have to give in a three separate statement. Okay, I will give you one real life example. You can compare with that and you can understand why these three things is required here. Suppose I said there is a jogging track or a park, and in that park there is a jogging track. You go for a morning walk or jogging at the morning time, and I said you run 3 times. In that jogging track you run 3 times. Suppose the moment you started running in that jogging track, then something is running your mind that when one round will be completed, you are counting it as 1. When second round completed, you are counting in your mind, in your brain as 2. And third time completed, you are counting it as 3. Now I'll ask you, hey, why you are counting, man? I asked you to run. Why you are counting? You will say, sir, running is my primary task, no doubt about it. But that counting is my secondary task. If I will not do that secondary task, what will happen? Now I will not come to know whether my primary work is completed or not. So behind every repeated work, there is something called counting involved. Are you agree with this? I'll repeat the statement. Behind any repeated work, there is something called counting involved behind it. Anything you do. You said I appeared 3 times exam. How did you know 3 times exam you appeared? Because you have counted, January I appeared first, August I appeared second, December I appeared third. So nobody asked you to count, but you are counting. Because you have to count, then only will come to know that how many times I repeated. So here also in our requirement, somebody says display this welcome 7 times or 5 times. But unless I will count 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, how can I come to know welcome has been displayed 5 times or 6 times or 7 times? So primary task definitely console.writeLine welcome. But secondary task, we have to take it like 1 time displayed, make it 1. Second time displayed, make something as 2. Third time displayed, make something as 3. So that counting logic we are giving here in this for. Now come to our jogging track example. When you completed your first round in the jogging track, previous example I am again going to, you started from one number, right? You said 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Did give anybody suggestion to you that count from 1? No. You are human being, so you automatically realized if I will start from 1, and increment by 1 and stop at 5, then obviously this indicates 5 times repetition in the jogging track. Then I will come and say that, sir, I completed my jogging track 5 rounds. Why? Because I started counting from 1, incremented by 1. This is called step also. This increment is also called step. So stepped by 1 every time and stop at 5. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Then I will say that, yes, I am done. How in that jogging track you counted without anybody gave you suggestion? because you are human being. So you started counting from 1 step by 1 and stop at 5. Your programming is not that intelligent like you. Don't you think? Your programming is not that intelligent like you, that it will realize that, hey, he's saying to display this 5 times, so I will start counting from 1, then 2, then 3, and I will stop at 5. Those 3 things, you only have to give instruction to the program, right? Program is not doing anything unless you give the correct information. So these 3 things, I want to give the syntactical idea to my program, saying that start from 1. That means take a variable, imagine C for count, take a variable, anything, I, J, K, C, A, B, C, anything. C for count, so I took C and start it from 1. Okay. Stop at 5. That means every time you check, is that 5 met, not met, continue, not met, continue. So you have to check if that number, whatever that C, if that number, count number, is less than or equal to 5. I will say C less than or equal to 5, then you continue. What does it mean? When you are jogging in that jogging track, that time also you are considering 1. Is it less than or equal to 5? Yes, please continue. 2. Is that 2 less than or equal to 5? Please continue. 3. Is that 3 less than or equal to 5? Please continue. Like that, when you reached 5 also, you are checking, is that 5 less than or equal to 5? Yes. Is that 6 less than or equal to 5? No. So you will not go for 6, you will stop at 5. Exactly that you are saying here. So few people do this mistake, I will tell you. C equal to 1, C equal to 5. But that is wrong. When we are saying C equal to 5, meaning is only when C is 5, you run it. But I will say, as long as C is 5, run it. So less than equal to 5 means as long as C is less than 5. So for 1, it will run. For 2, it will run. For 3, it will run. For 4, it will run. 5 also it will run. But when it will come to 6, it will say, no, my condition is already met. So stop condition has already met. I will not allow to run for 6th number. So start is written like this. Stop is written like this. Now remaining is step. So step is written like this. Okay. Because 2-3 days back only we understood there is a symbol called plus plus, which is incrementing my number by 1. So first time 1, second time 2, third time 3. So who will do that? This plus plus symbol will do that. But I will suggest one thing here. C++ chance is there in some compiler, it might be a keyword. So go for some N instead of taking C, because C++ might be a keyword somewhere. So you should avoid always any technical term. C++ is a programming language, right? And that is supported by .NET also. So who knows, it may show error tomorrow saying that hey, C++ is a programming language. So I said N++. Curly bracket start, curly bracket end. That means between this curly bracket to this curly bracket, whatever coding I will write, that will be repeated based on this logic. So this is secondary task, can I say that? Okay. In your jogging track, I said there are 2 tasks. One is what I have told you, that is run in the jogging track. One is secondary task, that is counting. Nobody asked you, but you are still counting. Same thing here. This is counting logic. Means how many times loop has to run. That is called secondary task, but it is important. And here I will give the main primary task, what my question is asking for. So question is saying, please give me welcome to C# as things. Okay. So instead of saying it as syntax, I will say it as example. Then we will go to syntax. You will see how syntax can be written. So here I will say console.writeLine something. So can I say this primary task? Okay. So if you understood this correctly, then you can easily tell me what will be the syntax of any for loop. So it will be something like this: for, start, end or stop, anything, step. And here you have to say statement to be repeated. So what statement to be repeated, that will be written here. How many times to be repeated, that will be written here. So one is called secondary task, one is called primary task. Primary task means our important task is to repeat, but secondary task says if you not use me, your program or your for loop is not that intelligent like you, that it will automatically understand that I will start from 1 and go up to 5. Both primary as well as secondary task, you have to give it to the program, then only it will understand that yes, I have to repeat 5 times or I have to repeat 10 times. So today you are repeating 5 times. Tomorrow somebody says I want to repeat it 2000 times. No need to copy paste 2000 times. You come here and say instead of this 5, you say 2000, over. So this loop will execute 2000 times. So anytime any repeated work you want to do in programming world, it is always better to go for loop. Instead of copy pasting that line 5 times, I said I will go for a loop, so that today it is 5 times, who knows, tomorrow it will be 50 times. So this will behave like repeatedly, one by one, first 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and it will go on displaying this. Seems to be little conceptual, definitely, as long as you are not writing the program and debugging it. So let's copy paste this one in our program in Visual Studio. We will put a breakpoint here. Whatever you are considering, explaining whether really it is behaving that way, we will check it out. So go to Visual Studio. At least one example we will do, then we will wind up today. So I will close this conditional statement and go to ternary operator is one operator, guys. We will go to that. I have hold it for some purpose. I will tell you it later. So Visual Studio. So few operators are there. We will come back to that later. So go to create a new project. Take some time. Go for a .NET Core application. Make it like using underscore loops. Save it in desktop. Those who are new, check it out how I am creating a project. But you must revise the previous recordings. And all of you, can you guys download today all the files so that I can delete and upload new files? Almost our drive is full. So let me come to this function and I will do some stuff here. Okay, if I will write here also, fine, no problem. But since it is a chapter, loops, chances are 4-5 program will do or 10 program will do. So why not each program will keep in a separate function. So static void, I will say using for loop 1 or for underscore 1. That means for loop first program. Okay, for loop first program. Similarly for underscore 2, for underscore 3, like that I will give. And then this function I will call in the main, and below I will write console.read key. That indicates press any key, then only you will continue after seeing the output. Come here, as per our plan, already we have discussed this. Without doing much more things, why not I will just copy paste it and see what is happening here. Put a breakpoint here. Okay. Why I put a breakpoint here? Because I want to check this program from the line number 15 to line number 20. So I put a breakpoint in line number 15, then I will run it in debug mode. So make sure this drop down is in debug mode, and then run it in debug mode. This is just for understanding the steps of approaches. How compiler is coming, what it is doing first, then what it's doing, then what it's doing. All those things we have to know. That's why I put a breakpoint here. F10, check it out where it came. It came to n equal to 1. That means it started initial logic with 1. Okay. Just like you started jogging track, running in the jogging track, and you said that, okay, first time I'm running. Then we are saying second time I'm running. Then we are saying third time I'm running. So it is also saying first time I'm calculating or I'm displaying. That's why n equal to 1. Not necessarily always 1. It can be something else also. We will see it in future. So n equal to 1. That means I counted n as 1. F10. See where it goes. Compiler jumps to second statement. Who can remind me what is the second statement? Start, end and step. Right? That means the second statement is end logic. So it will check, array 1 is fine. Is it the end? It will say no, continue. It is not the end. So it will give me true if it is really matching with less than equal to 5. 1 is less than equal to 5, 2 is less than equal to 5, 3 is less than equal to 5. So it will allow me, that's why it is saying true. Condition is true. Now do you think if I will press F10, it will go to n plus plus? No, it should not. Otherwise, before displaying welcome, if I will increment the number, then it will be difficult, na? For 1 it has not displayed, how it will be 2? That's why it will say, hey, don't go to n plus plus now. First you display for 1, then you come to n plus plus and increment it to 2. So for 1 we have not yet displayed, that's why it will come to console.writeLine. It will not go to n plus plus suddenly. After console.writeLine only, then it will go to n plus plus. Till then 1 already displayed. Can you see output window? 1 sentence has been already displayed. Then it came to n plus plus. And now if you check n value, it will be saying 2. It has been incremented to 2. Then again it will check, array 2 is fine, but is it really matching the end condition? Or still not meet the end condition? It will say still not meet the end condition. It is absolutely true. So go ahead. Go ahead means go and display. Again n plus plus means 2 become 3. 2 become 3. It will check 3, is it less than equal to 5? It will say yes. Still end condition has not yet matched. Like you are jogging in the jogging track, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times you are running. Every time you are asking yourself, is it meet 5? No. Is it meet 5? No. So then we are continuing again. Same thing it is also doing. Right? Came down. Again it displayed. So parallelly if you see output window, you can see 3 times it has already been displayed. Again come here. Again come here. 5 times already displayed. Can you see? Now it went to n plus plus. It incremented the number. Then it will go and check, is it satisfying now? It will say no, you have already reached 6. How I will satisfy? It is false. Only when it is less than equal to 5, I will continue. So it says false. False means as if you have already reached the end condition. That's why it will say no, you have already reached end condition. I will not allow you to run for the number 6. Then it will come out of the loop. Line number 20. Right? So I gave just a constant statement, welcome to C# or something. Intention is to display multiple times. So I gave how many multiple times based on that logic. So independently, first will be executed first, then second will be executed, third line will not be executed that time. It will say no, I will not execute you, I will come to you later. So from here it will jump to this line. It will do for 1, then it will say make it 2, and then it will say check it, do it, check it, do it. So increment, check, do. Increment, check and do. So that check condition is saying check the end condition. At any moment of time it is exceeding 5, then don't allow to go inside the loop. That is how you are going to display 5 times. Now very simple, I will not put a breakpoint now. I will remove that breakpoint, and instead of this 5 I will make it 10. See what happens. If you have understood it correctly, it should be displayed 10 times. Instead of 5, it will display 10 times. Have a look. Okay, so that means it started from 1, increment every time by 1, and every time it is checking current number is meeting to 10, current number is meeting to 10 or not meeting. Not meeting, continue. Not meeting, continue. So when it met 10, that means already it is 11, it will say, hey, not meeting, yeah. You have already reached to 11, I have to go allow up to 10, so I will stop you, I will not go inside, I will come out of the loop. So that is how this start, end and step is working here. Only thing is, as a human being, that time you are not realizing whenever any repeated work is given to you, you are counting, right? So I ask you, give me some books. You gave me one, gave me second one, gave me third one. So that time you are counting in your mind also. Then finally you are saying, sir, I gave 10 books to you. I will suddenly ask you, I gave the order to give some books. Did I ask you to count? You will say, sir, if I will not count, then how I will come to know how many books I gave to you? That means primary task was give the books, but the secondary task was there, count every time when you are giving a book to me. Same thing is happening here. Display is your main logic, but how many times you are displaying, every time you are going to increment that n. That's why it is saying 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And most important thing is, every time that n will be checked by this middle condition, which is called end condition, then it will allow to display. So we will not do much program today, just a small concept we understood and a small program we displayed. But more and more situational logics we will understand and will implement next class. So if you have any quick question, you can just ask me on top of this.